Hi everybody, I'm Kate from Play Magnus, Magnus's company, and we're here today doing the first live transmission on Magnus's Facebook page answering your questions. So thanks for all the questions that came through in the last 16 hours. We're going to go through some of the ones through Facebook as well as Twitter, and while we're doing the interview you can also keep asking in the comments below, and you can tweet on Twitter with the hashtag AskMagnus. So here we go. First question, Magnus, from Sebastian Lovestad. Who will win the NBA playoffs?
I'm still going to go with the Golden State, but Cavs are looking really strong.
From Kate Clark. How do you prepare for a game, and when did you first beat your father?
I think I first beat my father when I was 9, but I only beat him regularly when I was 10. I prepare for a game by analyzing my opponent's games, looking at the trends in their openings, and also trying just to be both mentally and physically right and fit.
Right. From Arna Christensen. What's happening with the Play Live Challenge this year? It was in May last year and we haven't heard anything yet.
It will be in September this year, and more information will be coming out soon.
From Kinjal Sahan, and I apologize in advance for any names I mispronounce.
I'm so happy I don't have to do that.
How can I improve my endgames? I'm weak at it. Do you have any specific book, puzzle, or app?
I think endgame play mostly comes with experience, and at least for me that was the case. As I developed a better feeling for the game in general, my endgames also improved. And there are many books on theoretical endgames, a few theoretical endgames that you have to know. One I read was Fundamental Chess Endings from 2002 by two German authors. I think that's still a good handbook, but most of all, many of the same principles apply in endgames as in regular positional play, and so experience, just playing the game, enjoying the game will help you a long way.
Great. From Scott Jeffrey Codell, do you have any pets? And if not, what one would you want?
My family has had a cat and a dog over the years, actually overlapping, strange as that may sound. I think I liked the cat better. I'm a soft man.
A soft man. Yeah. From Sky Chernai, how many hours did you train in the past? And how many hours do you train in the present? And the last part of that question, do you agree with Bruce Lee that concentration is the most important aspect when it comes to training?
Well, not necessarily. I do think I probably trained more when I was little than I do now. But for me, I think in chess you can do a lot of good training without being completely concentrated. I think if you think about it, ideas pop into your head, and it's still very useful training. So now I wouldn't say that I do many hours of chess training every day, probably just a couple, but I think about chess all the time.
From George Maurer, how come you always share your thoughts with your opponent after a game? Shouldn't everyone want to keep his tactics secret?
Well, we don't share everything, but we just find the games so interesting that we have to discuss the craft afterwards. After all, these are the best in the world at chess, and so they are the ones that are most interesting to discuss the game with, regardless of whether you won or lost, or whether you like that person or not.
From Nazir Dakhani, I want to know, who is your toughest rival in all formats of chess?
I don't know. I really find playing well, Magnus on any age is too hard for me. No. Well, when I played Kasparov in Blitz, both when I was little and also later on when I was training with him, that was intimidating. Although I could, after a while, I could hold my own and more.
From Sunpreet Singh, I just started playing chess. Could you please tell me how, as a beginner, what things I need to focus on?
I think most of all just practicing, playing games, learning a few basic things about mating patterns and what sort of squares the pieces you should usually go to, but a lot of these things come with training, and for immediate results, well, always look for whether you can capture one of your opponent's pieces or whether your opponent can capture one of yours. It's amazing how far that can take you. Yeah.
From Akash Narayan, what's coming up with the Play Magnus app, and are we getting multiplayer soon?
There are a lot of exciting things going on with the Play Magnus app. We're going to have lots of new features coming up before the World Championship match, and the multiplayer function will be there next year.
From Brian Teisman, why do you think you do so well against Hikaru Nakamura?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for asking that question.
I didn't plant it.
Yeah. No, I think, well, first of all, it's very interesting to play Hikaru because he's a very good player and he poses you difficult questions, but I always enjoy playing the best and most aggressive players, and I always feel up to the challenge of taking them on. And I guess after a while it's become psychological as well, since I do consider myself a better player than Hikaru, but still, maybe in some of the games, if our mutual score had been different, the games might have been a little bit different.
From Eddie Barnett, if you were giving advice to a casual player, say ELO around 1600, in your opinion, what are the best openings to ensure a positional game?
I think for white, the easiest way is to go knight f3, then g3, bishop g2, and then castle. That's because then you can get so many different pawn structures. In the center, you can go for d4, c4. You can go for c4, d3. You can go for d3, e4. You can even just go b3, bishop b2, and develop from that. So I think that's a good opening, just to be able to play different pawn structures and a relatively quiet game. As with black, well, there's e4, e5, playing close through Lopez. I think that's a good way for anyone who wants to get better at positional chess to try and understand these positions.
Great. From Shreya Parmar, how do you perceive the future of the game of chess in a world with such rapid technological advancement?
Well, obviously we've seen changes even since I started, in that computer have become so much better. Even when I started out, humans could still compete very well with computers in mutual games, but now of course we cannot. I guess in the future also opening preparation will continue to improve. It will be even easier for people to get better at chess with so much information out there, and also the possibilities for broadcasting chess to more people will be greater with technology that's coming. So I guess, for instance, with World Championship matches will be great in virtual reality, for instance. So we'll see what happens.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
From Stefan Lingblad, can you do a recap of the Altibox Norway Chess Tournament?
Yes, I'll do a recap right now. I won it, and I'm very happy about that. Apart from that, I will have a recap coming up on my Facebook page tomorrow.
Great. From Fazile Nagi, would you take someone that never played chess and train them to become a GM? I think they mean this hypothetically. Would it even be possible?
Well, it will take a lot of time. That's the thing about chess, that no matter how gifted you are, it will take a lot of time and experience to gain a high level of mastery. So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but actually I would rather trust an experienced trainer than me, since I probably wouldn't have the patience to do that.
Oh, there's no chance. From Rob oh my goodness, I'm just gonna say Roba. Do old books still have their value, or are they outdated by modern databases?
I think old books definitely still have value. You can learn a lot from old games because they are instructive. In modern games, it's harder to play these kind of instructive games because people realize that what you are going to do, and so it's not really a case of you follow a plan and then you win. In the old days, often you could see games even at the highest level. People, they lay out a good plan and they win. But it's still important to learn these plans and these ideas, and for that I think old books, old games are very good. And for me, I enjoyed very much reading about old games, on both about players, books about strategy and so on, and I still do, and I think it's very good for your general chess education.
All right. From Vince Hirschkind, what online site do you use and play on? And then he also asks, what's your nick?
Well, that was optimistic. I played a lot online since I was little, and I've enjoyed it a lot. I guess the site that I played most on is the ICC Internet Chess Club.
No nick disclosure this time. From Johannes Kemper, he was actually one of our Play Live Challenge contenders last year, so you played against him in New York. He asks, will you ever play online Bullet or Blitz with commentary?
Well, I will play the Blitz battle on chess.com.
That's right.
Later this year, so I will do that then. And yeah, I enjoy playing casual games and talking while I'm playing, so why not?
From Annie Barua, Gary Kasparov played against Deep Blue. Are we going to see a Magnus Carlsen match against a computer?
Well, it is my opinion that Gary should have beaten Deep Blue. I think at that point, Deep Blue was still not strong enough to beat Gary, but clearly something was wrong at some point mentally there. Now, I wouldn't have any chance in, let's say, a 10-game match against one of the best computers, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to play any like handicap matches or anything like that. I find it much more interesting to play humans, and also I like to win.
And Magnus in the app, but he's kind of human. Manu Greiter, he says and asks, should new players start with 1 e4 since it's said that these games lead to a more open position?
No, not necessarily. I think new players, you can try any first move, and well, not any first move, but one of the good ones in the middle, and they all lead to interesting positions that improve your chess. So I wouldn't say that there's anything at all wrong with e4, but if your trainer is telling you that you should only play e4, then you should find a new trainer.
From Jason Olson, which World Champions games did you learn the most from, and can you briefly describe how you study classic games, what you look for, etc.?
Well, the way that I study classic games is that I go through games on the database, or more often read a book about them, and I'm really not looking for anything. I just enjoy the games. I enjoy the chess, and then hopefully I can learn something from it. I wouldn't say there's one particular player that I learned the most from. Probably one of the older world champions, like Botvinnik, for example. His games were often very instructive and powerful, but for me it's hard to pinpoint who I've learned the most from, but I've definitely learned from all the times I've gone through games of the old masters.
And from Gerardo Ibarra, according to your knowledge about soccer, who is the best Mexican soccer player that you know of? I think he's from Mexico.
Well, there's this guy, I don't know how to say it, Cuauhtemoc Blanco or something, that did the trick where he puts the ball between his feet and then jumps over his opponent. I really enjoyed watching him play.
So if you know the real answer to that one, you can tweet it to Magnus.
Yeah.
Or your own opinion. From Gauri Manoj, what are some books that helped you in becoming a grandmaster?
Well, one that I mentioned earlier, Fundamental Chess Endings, helped me quite a bit in playing some key endgames better. When I was, let's say, 11 years old, I was quite poor at endgames, and then already at 13, 14, that was becoming a strength of mine, to some extent anyway. And then there were just all the books that I read. Kramnik's book on his games, for instance, I enjoyed a lot. The book Find the Plan by Ben Larsen, or just anything that I read helps. In general, if you enjoy reading chess books, you will learn from it, and it will be helpful for your chess.
If someone, I'll just interject here, if someone doesn't like reading, they'd rather do something, what would you recommend then? Online or?
Well, there will be great content coming up eventually on the Play Magnus trainer. But otherwise, yeah, probably online, but I don't really do that much, so I'm not really qualified to answer that.
From Vishal Parashar, I saw a video where you played 10 people without watching the board. How do you remember so many combinations and pieces?
Well, I think it comes with practice. So I sort of practice blindfold chess all the time, since I visualize the board in my head without having to have the actual board and pieces. And I mean, in time you can do more and more. So it just comes with practice. There's really no hocus pocus now to it.
David Broiko asks, would you ever consider playing Garry Kasparov in an exhibition, given the right circumstances?
Yeah, of course. I'm, ready to take on any human opponent, Garry included. So if if he wants to play some Blitz or Rapid games, I'm very happy to do that.
Cool. From Jamie Marchant, what is it about Geary that makes it difficult for you to win consistently against him?
I don't know why he's asking about consistently, because I never won a game from him. But no, he's a good player. It's very good tactically. So it's hard to trick him. And I don't know. We just recently, all our games seem to be heading to a draw pretty early on, but still, I mean, once he starts winning tournaments, that will become more of an issue for me. For now, I can sleep well at night, even with a minus score against him.
From Benoit Robe, how do you see artificial intelligence in chess in the near future?
Well, we're going to have a lot of AI in the new Play Magnus training app. Apart from that, yeah, you better ask somebody else.
Yeah. From Dan Taylor, ski, surf, or snowboarding, what do you prefer?
Well, I've only tried surfing like once. I'm very decent at skiing, and I've done a bit of snowboarding, so I would say skiing and snowboarding, depending on my mood.
From Camille Barocha, I think he's touching a soft spot here. Can you beat Magnus age 24? And if so, can you upload the game with him?
Well, why is he asking about minus 24? I cannot
25.
even beat like minus 18 or 16. So, but if I do, I promise you I will upload the game.
Great. From Suritam Sanyal, who would be your all-time NBA starting five by position?
I don't know. So probably now people are not going to like that, but I'm going to put Curry on point guard, and of course Michael Jordan shooting guard. LeBron probably small forward, Karl Malone, and Shaq. I've clearly forgotten people, but this will have to be fast. So
yeah, we are quick. Simone Madeo asks, tell us about a match from an important tournament that you may define as, in quotes, the craziest match I have ever played.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry to say that I would never use those words. There isn't so much crazy about my games. I don't like it when the games are crazy. I like them when they're neat and tidy. But well, one of the I like my well, I didn't like it actually, but there was my game with Topalov from Mike and Say 2012. That was well, if I ever played a crazy game, that was probably it.
And then we have a question from Justin Tinsley, and he says, it's Friday. Which Play Magnus app achievement is coming out today?
I think it's called all the what's?
It's the Men of Good.
The Men of Good. I was going to say all the Kingsmen, but that's the Men of Good Faith. So now you need to promote all your pawns to.
Oh, don't say it. It's a secret achievement.
It's a secret achievement. Okay.
Now you all have a very good clue of how to get that achievement.
So now now it has to be knight, bishop, queen, or king. Or whatever.
So.
You cannot actually promote to a king, but you can promote to a rook. So that's okay.
All right. Now we're heading over some more Twitter questions from Paul Clark. What happens? What happens once Hammer becomes the challenger to the World Championship crown? Do you change seconds?
I really, I have nothing but love for the Hammer, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Chris asks, do you ever think chess will become boring for you?
No, I don't think so. I think I'll enjoy chess till the day I die. Which hopefully won't be very soon.
From Sports Guru, How do you prepare for a game? What's your diet like, and what do you think before you sit down?
Well, I try to eat healthy, but to have some, sort of slow burning carbs in me, and also to be well prepared theoretically, and to be in a decent mental state. Yeah.
Jan asks, what do you consider the most important game in your career?
I don't know. I've played many important games, but to some extent they haven't been important, any of them, because I don't really think about that during the game. So I don't know. You pick. I don't know.
I am not going
No,
to.
I'm not saying you,
Okay.
but whoever.
You, the question asker. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take 3 more off of Twitter. Does that sound all right? Yeah? Annie asks, what would you do if you weren't a chess player?
Well, I'm so glad I don't have to find out anytime soon.
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, I don't know. Maybe I'd be a gambler of some sort.
A gambler. Things to aspire to, kids.
Yeah.
Kevin asks.
Do as I say, not as I do. That's what I'm saying.
Well.
Yeah.
Is there any chess player that you find underrated or unrecognized that should be?
It's a difficult one. Well, I think there are many. There are players from the era when the Soviets were all world champions, like Keres, Stein, Korchnoi, and so on. But there has been so much talk about them being underappreciated that they're actually becoming overappreciated. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But well, of the current best players, I don't know. Maybe Boris Gelfand doesn't always get the credit he deserves.
Great. We'll take one more, and that's from Archiman Banduri. Have you decided on your seconds for the World Championship?
Haha. No. There are not going to be wholesale changes. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Great.
Time will show.
Yeah, thanks everybody for sending in your questions, and I guess those of you that didn't make it can watch the recording later on. Thanks so much.
Thank you.